Thanks for this, JP. Hey, listen, just before we get into the serious stuff, Dollywall drives everybody here nuts, including myself. Phone calls constantly, texts constantly. What about you? Is he getting on your nerves?
For about the last 20 years or so. Yeah.
To
I
know,
don't,
to know him is to love him.
no, no, I spent a lot of time with Rick in the early years when we were going to when the rinks in Vancouver in the junior games, so I've
Yeah.
known him for a long time.
Yeah.
Big time, long time, long time.
Hey, JP, and before we get into Quinn Hughes and Elias Pettersson as well, Jim Benning signs Tanner Pearson to a contract extension yesterday. He's getting criticized for it in this market. Um, what's Jim's reputation outside of Vancouver and amongst agents?
Jim has a very good reputation. He's very straightforward, very honest person, easy to deal with. He talks, he's always communicating, trying to make his plans. So no, I enjoy dealing with Jim very much. And he's, he has to build his team and make his own decisions, but he's always a gentleman to deal with, that's for sure.
All right, JP, what can you tell us about negotiations between yourself and the Canucks regarding Quinn Hughes and Elias Pettersson?
Obviously we've just touched base. Really, we're really in the early stages, and I think it's more about an early communication to say, look, we're gonna get at this very soon and work hard, and the team needs to get through some things right now, which they're working on, and they let us know it's a priority, and I expect after the trade deadline, which was always the plan, we'll start to sit down and see where we are on different terms. Really, the terms are the key to the whole thing, right? So once we start talking about what terms make sense, then we'll get into it.
Hey, JP, I know you love armchair quarterbacks because every city's got plenty of them. The general feeling in this city, JP, is you can't do a long-term deal for Pettersson and Hughes. I know you may think otherwise, but is there because of the Canucks cap issues, JP, is there a chance, even a glimmer of chance, because you want your young stars to sign long-term? Is it possible in Vancouver or not?
I don't think it's just Vancouver. I think it's almost everywhere. I mean, I even saw that this summer, or going through the possibility for Matthew Barzal. I mean, the Islanders tried every which way to see if they could do more than 3 years, and they with the cap situation, even after making some trades, they just couldn't do it. So I'm sure they wish they would have done more, and I think actually for Matthew, it's probably better to do 3 years. I always felt that 3 years was fine for him. So I think it's everywhere. It's not just Vancouver. So yes, I think the probabilities lean towards shorter terms for these guys right now, but some teams are going to, absolutely try to change that also, right?
JP, I hear this a lot. COVID economy. There's no revenue for the owners. Is it tough to get good money out there for star players right now in the NHL?
Well, I think the very, very elite guys, are going to get paid, because that's always been the case in hockey. Like, there's too much demand for the elite. I think it's the middle tier is really going to take a real tough, it's going to be a tough few years for the guys in the middle, because with the flat cap and deals getting done, when you're up, the only way to fit in the cap is to start pushing lower deals on new contracts, because trades are even hard in this environment. So as new contracts come up, if you're not the truly elite, then there's going to be downward pressure until we can get this cap moving in the other direction.
JP, Elias Pettersson injury, we were told early, everybody thought, hey, man, this is going to be 1 week at the most. We're in week 5. Can you give us an update? Is Pettersson going to play again this year, JP? What's the latest?
I believe he'll play. He's getting lots of treatment. It's a delicate injury. It's just something you need to get rehab for, and he's got a team, he's got 2 or 3 excellent people working on it, so we're all really comfortable. It's just he needs to heal, and but I don't think we're that far away. I think the healing process is underway, and I think the team is, and we are all being cautious. There's no need to rush him at this stage either. So, but I think he'll be back. He'll be back soon.
And JP, what can you tell us about his health regarding COVID? Same with Quinn Hughes.
Yeah, I haven't had the final list. The last time I checked, Elias wasn't on it. Is he on the list now?
No, he's not. But JP, we did hear that Quinn Hughes was one of the players that really got hit hard early. Is there an update? Is he doing better, JP?
Yeah, no, he's doing better. I mean, I think a lot of them, quite frankly, yeah, it took a hit, and a lot of guys weren't feeling that great. I'm not saying anyone was serious or anything like that, but you have to take it serious. But I think all the guys are on the mend, that had it.
We're talking with JP Barry. And JP, tell me how it works. When we realized that you were going to be representing both of these players, a lot of people thought, well, it'll be a package deal. So how does it work? Do you tackle this as individuals? Any chance they'll come as a package? How do you approach negotiations?
Well, we work together here. So it's myself, my partner, Pettersson, and Jim Nice in our group. So it's the three of us that work on contracts on the CA side, and we kind of do almost everything together. So, I mean, we're going to be setting up time frames to talk a couple hours at a stretch. So we're going to, they're both up at the same time. So we're going to talk about both of them. It's not just similar to several years ago where we did Taves and Kane at the same time. And then, of course, every deal I ever did with the Sedins was, of course, at the same time. I think you know that. So yeah. It's just the timing and the status means why wouldn't you talk at the same time? Because, one of them affects the other end anyway. Like they have to everyone has to know what's going on, and that's the key. Is this way there'll be open communications for everyone. Everyone will know everything, and we'll just work on a structure. And that's. I mean, the best example was Taves and Kane in that situation.
Do you anticipate receiving offer sheets for either player?
Well, in the offer sheet environment, it already was pretty depressed. I think now in this situation, it's. I think until we get a rising cap, the chance of offer sheets are going to be pretty remote.
Hey, JP, you represent Elias Pettersson's brother, Emil, who just had a great year in Sweden, 48 points, 52 games. When do you start fielding calls for NHL teams for him, JP?
I mean, a lot of the teams are pretty focused on the trade deadline right now, so I think their attention will swing to that group of European free agents usually after the trade deadline. You can't sign these guys until the 1st of May. That contracts end of April, and then there's that's generally the time frame you sign these European free agents, like the first week of May.
Okay.
JP, you also represent Loui Eriksson, and of course he's done extremely well financially here in Vancouver. Not a lot of on-ice success. 1 year left on his contract after this one at $6 million per. Just what's his mindset? And he hasn't played a lot. What's his mindset these days?
He's trying to stay strong. I mean, everyone knows Louis a good teammate. He doesn't cause any problems. He wanted to play, and obviously it hasn't worked out the last couple of years, and really his ice time's diminished. So, we would hoped he would have been moved, but like I said, we have, like a lot of players in his situation, there's just no movement in the NHL right now. You can only really send one contract for the other. The only trades that have really happened were, equal contracts, like the Lucic trade, where you're taking back another contract the same. So there just hasn't been one that will fit that both sides would be happy with to try. So we'll have to see this summer. I mean, the buyout is a possibility also this summer.
How hot of a UFA will Dougie Hamilton be?
Well, I mean, I think if you look at the numbers, he'll be the number one free agent for defensemen at least, and maybe for all players. So I think, I think if you look at how he's playing, it's going to be an interesting one. And then, I still think there'll be a lot of discussions at the end of the year with.
Did we lose JP again?
Hey, sorry, guys.
There you are, JP.
No. It's probably Dollywall calling you, right? Are you calling him right now? Don't do that.
Trade deadline. So unfortunately, I should have put the no beeping in during the call because
no problem.
Calls while we were talking.
No problem at all, JP. We'll let you go, but just maybe answer one more question. How much activity do you expect before the deadline?
I don't think it's going to be a big deadline. I think the teams that really know they have a chance are the ones that are active, like the ones that, normally in a year you get, at least a dozen teams thinking they can win. I think only 6 or 7 are taking a serious push at that because the rest don't have the revenues and don't want to take the risk. So I think that's going to be less trades, with only maybe 6 teams pushing the envelope here.
Okay. So maybe we can take the day off on Monday. We won't.
Yeah, we won't take the day off, but
No.
I'm sure the TSN people won't be happy to hear, and Sportsnet to hear that I'm saying there's not going to be that many trades on Monday.
No kidding. It's a big day
I
for
have
that.
no idea who he's talking about. JP, thanks for this. Appreciate it. Above and beyond.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you guys. Okay, bye-bye.
Thank you.